Imagine going through life barely able to hear, being humiliated, rejected, but turning every bit of pain into strength. A young boy, inspired by superheroes, decides to change his fate. Training relentlessly, he builds an extraordinary physique and earns his place in bodybuilding history. A rival to Arnold Schwarzenegger, a Hollywood star, a global icon. But what was the secret behind his strength? What was his routine? Today, you're going to dive into the story of Lou Ferrigno, the man who pushed his limits and came out on top. Are you ready to find out what made him a living legend? Let's go. Have you ever felt like the world was against you from the start? Lou Ferrigno was born in 1951 in New York, and despite what seemed like a normal childhood, his dreams were quickly threatened by an unexpected problem. As a child, he suffered a severe ear infection that left him almost completely deaf. With only 25% of his hearing intact, he had to rely on a hearing aid, big, uncomfortable, and impossible to hide. Now, imagine being a kid walking into school with a bulky hearing aid at a time, when hardly anyone understood or talked about bullying. It didn't take long for Lou to become an easy target. The constant ridicule pushed him further into isolation, making him quiet, reserved, and shy. But the pain of rejection led him to a world where he could dream of being strong and respected. Comic books. Who hasn't escaped into comics or cartoons to get away from real-life problems, right? Lou found comfort in superhero stories, but one character stood out more than any other: the Hulk. A hero who embodied raw strength, courage, and an incredible physical transformation. Without realizing it, Lou was already setting the foundation for his own transformation. Beyond the Hulk, Lou also found inspiration in a movie star with the physique of his dreams, Steve Reeves. Reeves, a former bodybuilder, played Hercules in several films. He was exactly what Lou aspired to be: strong, admired, and respected. At just 13 years old, fueled by these two powerful inspirations, Lou started lifting weights, determined to change his life. Very quickly, Lou realized that the gym was more than just a place to lift weights. It was his sanctuary. It was where he could prove his worth, rebuild his confidence, and fight back against the cruelty he had faced in school. Every workout was a small personal victory, a chance to show himself that he could overcome not just physical challenges, but also the emotional scars that had left him feeling isolated and insecure. But can you imagine having a father who doesn't believe in you? Unfortunately, that was Lou's reality. His father constantly told him he had no future because of his hearing loss. Words like that could break most people, but for Lou, they had the opposite effect. They became fuel, pushing him to train even harder to prove his father and the world wrong. Years of relentless training paid off. In 1969, right after finishing high school, Lou won his first major competition, the prestigious IFBB Mr. America. That victory was just the beginning of what would become an incredible career. Just 4 years later, he pulled off an even more incredible feat, winning the Mr. Universe title at just 21 years old, making him one of the youngest athletes ever to claim that victory. Can you imagine the satisfaction he must have felt at that moment? All the pain from being mocked and doubted by his own father had now turned into glory. Lou had proven to everyone that he could overcome any obstacle. But the challenges were just beginning for Lou Ferrigno. In 1974, he decided to take on the Mr. Olympia, the most prestigious and competitive bodybuilding championship in the world. And right in his debut, Ferrigno achieved something extraordinary. He placed second, losing only to Arnold Schwarzenegger. The following year, he returned with everything he had to try and dethrone Arnold, but finished in third place. Once again, Schwarzenegger took home the top prize. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever watched or heard of the film Pumping Iron? This iconic documentary was inspired by the rivalry between Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger. It closely follows their grueling training routines and the intense psychological pressure that came with chasing victory. Pumping iron ended up exposing the entire world to the behind-the-scenes reality of competitive bodybuilding, revealing the human side behind all the muscle. After back-to-back losses at the Mr. Olympia, Lou Ferrigno decided to step away from competition. It might sound surprising, but during this time off stage, he worked in completely different fields. Would you believe he took on manual labor jobs as a factory worker and even tried his hand at professional football in a Canadian team? That's right, Lou was exploring new horizons. But as you've probably figured out by now, Lou Ferrigno isn't the kind of guy who gives up easily. In the early 90s, almost 2 decades after leaving competitive bodybuilding, he made a shocking comeback to the Mr. Olympia stage. In 1993, he returned with a revamped physique, finishing in 12th place. The following year, he improved his ranking, landing in 10th place, proving he still had the strength and determination to stand among the best. Those competitions in the early 90s marked Ferrigno's final appearances in major professional bodybuilding events. After that, he realized it was time to step away from the stage for good. Now, let me ask you, would you have the same courage and determination as Lou Ferrigno to step back in a competition after so many years away? Have you ever stopped to think about how simply speaking a dream out loud can change the course of your life? That's exactly what happened to Lou Ferrigno. Pumping iron didn't just introduce competitive bodybuilding to the world. It also gave our protagonist a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. During the filming, Lou openly shared that his biggest dream was to play the Incredible Hulk, the character he had idolized since childhood. That seemingly casual statement caught the attention of a Hollywood producer who was watching the documentary. Do you believe in the power of a single sentence to change someone's destiny? Because that's exactly how Lou Ferrigno landed the chance to audition for the role. After passing the test, he finally achieved the dream he had carried since he was a kid. Lou Ferrigno became the Hulk on television. With the massive success of the Incredible Hulk TV series, which aired from the late 70s to the early 80s, Ferrigno's fame skyrocketed beyond the bodybuilding world, reaching millions of people across the globe. Can you imagine what it must have felt like to see his image on posters, magazines, and TV shows? It wasn't just fame. It was the fulfillment of a lifetime of struggles, dreams, and relentless determination. But Lou didn't stop there. His acting career took off, opening doors to even more opportunities. In addition to playing the green superhero, he got to bring another one of his childhood idols to life, Hercules. That's right. Ferrigno achieved yet another milestone by playing the legendary demigod Hercules on the big screen. He went on to appear in multiple TV shows and movies, solidifying his image as a versatile actor beloved by audiences worldwide. In 2009, Lou Ferrigno was back in the headlines, but this time for a completely unexpected reason. He revealed to the press that he had worked as a personal trainer for none other than Michael Jackson. And do you know what the goal of that training was? To prepare the King of Pop for his final tour. This is it. Unfortunately, Michael passed away just before the concerts began, but this revelation showed yet another surprising side of Ferrigno's career. Even today, Lou Ferrigno keeps proving that there are no limits for those with determination. He is now a successful fitness entrepreneur, owning gyms and selling training-related products. On top of that, he uses his extensive knowledge of physical conditioning to train and prepare police officers in various departments across the United States, helping them perform better in high-pressure situations. Have you ever wondered what the secret is behind top bodybuilders maintaining their impressive muscle mass and sculpted physiques? Now, let's break down the complete diet of the legendary Lou Ferrigno. After all, every bodybuilding champion knows that training alone isn't enough. It takes a strategic, well-organized diet packed with essential nutrients to build a strong and healthy body. Lou Ferrigno was extremely disciplined with his diet, sticking to regular meals every 2 to 3 hours. But don't think that meant eating excessively. Lou swore that the real secret was portion control. According to him, Keeping a lean waist and well-defined physique requires stopping before you feel stuffed and never waiting until you're starving to eat. Another key aspect of Lou's diet was the strategic distribution of nutrients throughout the day. In the morning, he focused on meals rich in carbohydrates and protein, fueling his body with immediate energy to function at its peak. At night, however, he drastically reduced his carb intake, prioritizing proteins and healthy fats instead. The reason for this was simple: to supply the body with nutrients that promote muscle growth without leading to unwanted fat gain. So what did Lou Ferrigno's first meal of the day look like? Upon waking up, he prepared a generous omelet with 4 or 5 eggs, topped with cheese for an extra protein boost. This breakfast was rounded out with fresh fruit, whole grain toast loaded with fiber, and 1 or 2 glasses of whole milk, providing a solid dose of energy, calcium, and vitamins. Lou believed that a hearty breakfast was crucial to starting the day strong and ready for anything. For his second meal, Lou focused on convenience without compromising on nutrition. He'd have about 3 ounces, 85 grams, of nuts packed with healthy fats and plant-based protein, along with 2 sandwiches made with either meat or cheese, always on whole grain bread for extra fiber and complex carbs. Once again, he'd finish it off with 1 or 2 glasses of whole milk. Notice how milk was a staple in nearly every meal? For his third meal, he aimed for something light yet effective in keeping his energy levels up without feeling overly full. His go-to choice was a fresh tuna salad, an excellent source of lean protein and omega-3s. Alongside the salad, he'd have fresh fruit and a cup of plain yogurt, rich in calcium and probiotics to support digestion. And unsurprisingly, he'd wash it all down with another 1 or 2 glasses of whole milk. Then came the fourth meal of the day, a powerhouse protein shake made with 16 ounces, 470 milliliters, of whole milk and around 3 ounces, 80 milliliters, of protein derived from eggs and milk. To top it off, he'd add another serving of fresh fruit for a quick energy boost. With this meal fueling him, Lou was primed and ready to hit the gym with full force. After finishing his intense workout, Lou's fifth meal of the day was strategically designed to quickly replenish energy and aid muscle recovery. Typically, he'd have a generous serving of steak, accompanied by a variety of vegetables and a baked potato, ensuring a well-rounded intake of essential nutrients like protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. And of course, whole milk made another appearance, reinforcing his protein intake and helping repair muscle fibers. The sixth and final meal of the day was carefully planned to optimize recovery during sleep. Lou believed it was essential to consume protein and healthy fats before bed, while keeping carbs low to avoid unwanted fat gain. That's why his last meal included about 3 ounces, 85 grams of hard cheese, another 3 ounces, 85 grams of raw sunflower seeds, and once again, whole milk or another protein-rich, low-carb drink. This meal was taken right before bedtime, ensuring his body had everything it needed to recover overnight. Now, let me ask you, have you ever wondered what bodybuilding training was like in the 70s? Back then, there was an almost universal belief among athletes: the more you train, the better. Rest days were nearly non-existent, with many bodybuilders taking only 1 day off per week, or sometimes none at all. Lou Ferrigno was no exception. He was fully committed to this philosophy, training hard 6 days a week with just 1 day reserved for recovery. Lou started his days with exercises targeting smaller muscle groups like calves, abs, and traps whenever he felt the need. This approach helped maintain muscle balance and serve as a great warm-up for the rest of his workout. But how exactly did he divide his weekly training routine? Let's take a closer look at his full workout split. Monday was all about chest and back, focusing on building strength, mass, and density. He kicked things off with flat barbell bench press, performing 5 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Then he moved on to incline bench press and dumbbell pullovers. For his back, he went all in with chin-ups, T-bar rows, dumbbell flies, and deadlifts, finishing off with bent-over rows, dips, and pull-ups. Tuesday was dedicated to shoulders and arms, a high-volume workout that demanded serious endurance. He started with alternating dumbbell curls, followed by Arnold presses, lateral raises, military presses, and closed-grip bench presses for triceps. Then came behind-the-neck presses and front raises, before diving into an arm circuit with barbell curls, dumbbell presses, concentration curls, incline alternating curls, French presses, triceps pushdowns, skull crushers, and rope triceps extensions. Wednesday was an absolute leg killer, an intense lower body workout that left no muscle untouched. Lou began with heavy leg presses, then moved on to leg curls, free weight squats, leg extensions, and hack squats. Each of these exercises was performed in 5 sets of 10 reps, ensuring complete muscle exhaustion and maximum hypertrophy. And now, let me ask you, do you think you could handle a routine like that? On Thursday, Lou repeated the muscle groups from Monday, but with variations in exercises and intensity to ensure a well-rounded workout. He once again performed T-bar rows, dumbbell flies, chin-ups, deadlifts, pull-ups, and dips, but this time he adjusted weights and rest intervals to create different stimuli for his chest and back muscles. This method was commonly used to maximize muscle growth and prevent plateaus that could slow down progress. On Friday, he returned to shoulders and arms, making small adjustments to exercises to keep pushing his muscles to the limit. This day focused on muscle isolation and strict control over each movement. His routine included concentration curls, rope triceps extensions, triceps pushdowns, French presses, barbell curls, Arnold presses, traditional alternating curls, and incline alternating curls. The goal was to make sure every single muscle fiber was worked to its full potential. Saturday wrapped up his grueling training week with another brutal leg day. This session was just as intense as Wednesday's, repeating leg presses, leg curls, squats, leg extensions, and hack squats. This second leg day was designed to reinforce the progress made earlier in the week and further stimulate muscle growth, ensuring thick, powerful, and well-defined legs, a signature trait of Ferrigno. Finally, Sunday was dedicated to complete rest. And yes, for Lou Ferrigno, just one rest day per week was enough. This demanding schedule required extreme discipline, a meticulously planned diet, and exceptional recovery capacity. Now, let me ask you, do you think you'd have the energy to keep up with Lou's intense routine? Drop a comment below. A physique that stood out in every way. Lou is considered one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, not just because of his accomplishments, but because of his exceptional proportions, which made him stand out anywhere he went, whether on a competition stage or on TV screens. Unlike most bodybuilders, Lou had a towering presence. At an impressive 6 feet 5 inches, 1.95 meters, he was taller than the average competitor, giving him a commanding presence on stage. This height was complemented by a massive and powerful frame, built through years of intense training, strict dieting, and unwavering discipline. During his competition years, Lou pushed his body to extreme limits. His contest weight reached an astonishing 300 pounds, 136 kilograms, with incredibly defined muscle mass. Outside of competition season, his weight dropped slightly, averaging 275 pounds, 125 kilograms. Even in his off-season, he maintained an elite-level physique, proving that his body was always a step above the rest. And if his height and weight weren't already impressive enough, wait until you hear his other mind-blowing measurements. For starters, his arms were absolute muscle cannons, measuring a jaw-dropping 23 inches, 58 centimeters in circumference. These massive arms were the result of a perfect blend of hardcore training and meticulous nutrition, the kind of size that every bodybuilder dreams of achieving. Can you even imagine having arms that size? Now let's talk about Lou Ferrigno's massive chest width, another mind-blowing measurement. His chest measured an incredible 57 inches, 145 centimeters, giving him an imposing presence on stage. To build this kind of upper body mass, he dedicated a significant portion of his training to bench presses, dumbbell flies, and pullovers, key exercises for developing a powerful chest capable of impressing even the toughest Mr. Olympia judges. Another jaw-dropping aspect of his physique was his gigantic legs. His thighs measured an astounding 31 inches, 78 centimeters in circumference. To achieve that level of muscle mass, he took leg training very seriously, focusing on deep, heavy squats, leg presses, and high-resistance leg extensions, ensuring his legs were muscular, symmetrical, and perfectly proportioned to the rest of his body. And let's not forget his calves, which were equally impressive at 20 inches, 50 centimeters each. Like any bodybuilder striving for an aesthetic and well-balanced physique, Lou paid close attention to his waist size, keeping it relatively small despite his extreme muscle mass. His waist measured around 34 inches, 87 centimeters, creating that coveted V-shape admired by bodybuilding fans. Maintaining this proportion required strict diet control, especially by reducing carbs and prioritizing lean protein intake to keep fat levels low. After gaining international fame playing the Incredible Hulk on TV, Lou Ferrigno made a major decision. He chose to downsize his muscular physique to break free from being solely associated with the Green Monster. He believed that if he kept his extreme mass, he would always be tied to that one role. So after retiring from professional competitions, Ferrigno significantly reduced his muscle volume, opting for a more balanced and sustainable physique. Now that you know all of Lou Ferrigno's jaw-dropping stats, I want to hear from you. Which one surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button because it really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. And hey, if you enjoyed this one, check out another amazing video linked in the card and the description. I'm sure you're going to love it. See you there.